Good morning, boys and girls. Happy Wednesday. Today we're going to start books from a new author, new for our YouTube videos, but we've read a lot of them in the classroom. There are books by Patricia Reilly Giff, and she writes our books about Beast and Emily Arrow, and we love these books. We've read a bunch of them, but I will put some links down below so that you can do some research about Patricia Reilly Giff as we're reading these. And I'll read a chapter a day, and this one is called Pickle Puss. Chapter 1. Emily Arrow jumped down the steps. She rushed down the lawn. "Wait for me," her little sister Stacy yelled. Emily looked back. Stacy opened the screen door. She was wearing a tablecloth on her head. She had her mother's high heels on her feet. "You can't go like that," Emily said. "I'll take off my veil," Stacy said. She dropped the tablecloth. It landed on the grass. Emily closed her eyes. "Hurry." Stacy clicked down the path. "Mrs. Baker will love my red shoes." Emily started across the street. "Walk slow," Stacy said. "It's hard to keep up." Emily took Stacy's hand. "Try. We're almost late." At the next corner they saw Richard Best. He was crawling under a bush. "Hey, Beast," Emily called. "Where are you going?" he yelled. "To the library," Emily said. Today's the day Fish for a Good Book starts. We can do it all month." "Not me," Beast said. "I read enough in summer school." "Too much." He sat back. "Besides, it's August. School starts soon." "Emily's going to fish," Stacy said. "Right, Emily?" Emily nodded. "I'm going to get a pile of them." "So is Dawn," said Beast, "and Jill, and Timothy." He shook his head. "Too bad Matthew moved away. He'd like to fish, too." "Did you hear from him?" Emily asked. Beast held up one finger. "I got a letter, a skinny little letter. Matthew's a terrible speller. I couldn't understand it." "Come on, Emily," Stacy said. "It's too hot to stand still." Emily and Stacy went down the street. They turned in at the library. "Whew," said Stacy. "Lots of kids are here today." Emily waved at Jill and Dawn. Then she looked up. There was a new picture on the wall. It was a picture of a boy fishing. He was fishing in blue paper water. Red and blue and tan paper fish swam in the water. Up on top it said, "Fish for a good book." "I'm going to get lots of fish," Stacy said. Emily shook her head. "You don't have a card." "Mrs. Baker will give me one," Stacy said. "No," said Emily. "Not until you can write your name. That's the rule." Stacy stuck her lip out. She looked as if she were going to cry. "How can I learn to write? Nobody will let me go to school." Emily patted her shoulder. "Next year." Just then Mrs. Baker came over. She smiled at them. All her freckles crinkled up. "I'm going to find a book," Emily told her. "A good one." "Right," said Mrs. Baker. "I'll print your name on the card. Then every time you read a book, you'll get a fish. You can put it next to your name." Emily went to the shelves. She pulled out a book. Five children in it. It was too fat. "I read that book," said a boy. Emily looked at him. He had a nice face. He was the 5th grade monitor in school. "My name is Freddie S.," he told her. "That's a good book." Emily looked down at the book. It had a skillion pages. It would take forever to read. "Well," she said. "Go ahead, try it," said Freddie. "I guess so," Emily said. She went to Mrs. Baker's desk. Too bad she didn't have a skinnier book. She looked back. Freddie was talking with his friend Edward. Emily stuck the fat book on the book cart. She grabbed another one. It was much skinnier. She gave it to Mrs. Baker. Mrs. Baker checked it out. "You like snakes?" she asked. "Yuck," said Emily. Then she looked at the book. There was a snake on the cover. It was the kind with the fat neck. Its tooth was sticking out. I love them," Emily said. She grabbed the book. She went out the door with Stacy. All right, here's our picture. We have a little bit of a glare. Here's Emily, and here's the boy who was telling her, Freddie, that was a good book. But we know Emily is still learning to read, so she didn't want a book that thick. The other thing that this chapter mentions is that Matthew moved away, and there is a book where Matthew moves away. And of course, Beast is very sad. And I'll have to track down that book so that we can read that because we haven't talked about that yet. Okay, I'm going to do a listening and learning video today as well, guys. So please check that out. Your journal might have questions about it tomorrow, okay? Have a good day.